Hello students, topic for today's lecture is discharge of a contract. How a contract has been discharged. A contract creates certain obligations on one or all of the parties involved in a particular contract. The discharge of a contract happens when these obligations come to an end. There are many ways in which a contract can be discharged. First is discharge by performance. When the parties to a contract fulfill their obligations arising under the contract within the time and the manner prescribed, then the contract is discharged by the performance. Example: Peter agrees to sell his cycle to John for an amount of rupees 10,000 to be paid by John on the delivery of the cycle. As soon as it is delivered, John pays the promised amount. Then comes discharge by a mutual agreement. If all the parties to a contract mutually agree to replace the contract with a new one, or annul or remit or alter it, then it leads to a discharge of the original contract due to a mutual agreement. Then next comes is discharge by the impossibility of the performance. If it is possible for any of the parties to the contract to perform their obligations, then the impossibility of the performance leads to their discharge of the particular contract. If the impossibility exists from the start, then it is impossibility ab initio. However, the impossibility might also arise later due to number 1, an unforeseen change in the law. Number 2, destruction of the subject matter that is essential to the performance. Number 3, the non-existence or the non-occurrence of a particular state of things which was considered a given for the performance of the particular contract. And the last, a declaration of the war. Then the fourth type is a discharge of a contract by a lapse of time. The Limitation Act 1963 prescribed a specified period for the performance of a contract. If the promisor fails to perform and the promise fails to take the action within the specified period, then the latter cannot seek remedy through the law. It discharges the contract due to the lapse of the time. Next is a discharge of a contract by the operation of a law. A contract can be discharged by the operation of a law, which also includes the insolvency or the death of the promisor. Sixth is the discharge by breach of contract. If a party to a contract fails to perform his obligation according to the time and place specified in the contract, then he is said to have committed a breach of contract. Also, if a party repudiates a contract before the agreed time of a performance of a contract, then he is said to have committed an anticipatory breach of the particular contract. Next comes the discharge of a contract by a remission. A promisee can waive or remit the performance of promise of a contract wholly or in part. He can also extend the time agreed for the performance of the particular contract. Then comes discharge by non-provisioning of facilities. In many contracts, the promisee agrees to offer reasonable facilities to the promisor for the performance of the contract. If the promisee fails to do so, then the promisor is discharged of all the liabilities arising due to the non-performance of a particular contract. Next comes discharge of a contract due to merger of the rights. In some situation, it is possible that inferior and superior rights coincide in the same person. In such cases, both the rights combining leading to a discharge of the particular contract governing the inferior rights. I think we have studied 9 types of a discharge of a contract. The discharge of a contract can be classified into 9 major points. I hope it must be clear to you. Thank you.